Hey guys, how's it going? Today I want to talk about watering in the winter time, and it's something that I've mentioned a whole lot and something I don't think I've ever showed you. So I thought today we would kind of just go over the reasons why we water, why it's something we have to think about, and then I'm going to show you my process. So the reason why we water in the winter is just to make sure that the root systems of our plants don't completely dry out. I'm talking about plants mostly in containers like these boxwood topiaries right here, and you can see that the soil, it's got a tiny bit of moisture in it, but it's not frozen, and it also isn't sticking together like there's a ton of moisture. So these are due for a watering. And it's just something that I have to keep on the radar about every 2 weeks. I have an alarm that goes off on my phone that tells me to go out and check on my plants. It's not an every time thing. Sometimes I don't have to give them water. Like if you're getting a lot of snow or rain, a lot of moisture, sometimes you can skip some of your containers, but those containers that are like protected from the roof of your house, like on a porch or a patio, we have window boxes that are underneath part of our house. Those don't get any of that moisture that's coming down, so they're completely dependent on me for that moisture. The only time I skip them is if they are frozen solid. If you've got a frozen solid block inside that pot, I don't give them water. And I also don't give them water if the soil seems really moist, because we don't want them to be super wet and boggy. We just want them to have a little bit of moisture. We're also not going to be watering like we do in the summertime. We're not giving so much water that it's coming out the bottom of the container. We're just giving enough to saturate the top layer. And I know that I'm such a visual person that I like to see somebody doing something before I do it so that I feel confident. And that's what I'm hopeful in this video today, that you see me watering, you can kind of see how much I give. It's really hard to give like, this is how many cups I give a 14-inch pot and or a 20-inch pot. I just have to kind of eyeball it. You have to gauge depending on your weather and your climate. Those of you in warmer climates will probably have to water a little bit more often. Okay, so now what I need to do is go gather up all my buckets. I just use whatever available bucket or watering can I have. I put them in my garden cart, and then I just start heading around the house. I got all of my watering done, and there's just a couple other things I wanted to share. First off, even if you're getting a lot of snow or rain, you still should be checking on your pots every couple of weeks, especially pots that have evergreens in them, because the water may not be making it down into the pot because the leaves or the needles or whatever you have in your container, it might be deflecting the moisture away from actually making it down to where the roots are. So you just want to be mindful of that. Just kind of like maybe lift up the evergreen branches a little bit, look at the soil and make sure it's saturated. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that what I was talking about today is mainly plants in containers, not plants in the ground. Plants in the ground, especially if they're established, should be fine throughout the course of a winter. If you have gone in and planted something late, like I planted some winterberry hollies pretty late in the season, and I did some transplanting late and they didn't really have a chance to root in. If we were having a really long, dry winter with no rain and snow and a lot of wind, I would still be supplemental watering those plants because they can still dry out. So even in the winter, you want to keep that in mind for things that were planted really late. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.